Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Wayne. And he wanted me to watch and review this film called Santa Jaws. I know this will be up after Christmas. I apologize. Just could not get the time to get it beforehand. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, commentaries, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box down below under the video. And Santa Jaws is a film that's not good. It's just compared with considering the title and the plot, it wasn't the worst movie ever. And it's not good, but in a weird way, its heart is in the right place, if that makes sense. The acting isn't necessarily good, but yet I've seen a lot worse. The shark is garbage CGI, but the ideas are so goofy and so silly that they kind of makes it a little bit fun. The lead kid, I'm in between. The lead kid kind of came off as like an Edward Furlong type. I'm not sure if I liked him or disliked him. From the director of Ozark Sharks and Mississippi River Sharks, Santa Jaws. Now the plot of the film, like the way the cinematography, the picture quality, it doesn't look as cheap as a lot of Sci-Fi Channel films. That was kind of, not that there's beautiful vistas, but yeah, it just didn't look as, I don't know how to put it. It just didn't seem as cheap. And there's at least a bit of a sense of humor to it. Of course, it has to be with this title. Because you have this weird opening where a guy with a shotgun is going up against a guy in a Santa suit, and the guy in the Santa suit, you better watch out, you better not die. And the hero is like, no sugar cookies for you, you don't eat your words. And they fight, and then there's a shark that eats one of them. And you come to find out this is the inner workings of a comic book that this kid is writing, or at least drawing, and help writing. But he's mainly an artist. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting to have a weird opening, but it's in the mind of a comic book kid who wants to be an artist, who's really into this stuff. Something about that, it was kind of a neat little way to open it. It's very quirky and unexpected, but kind of fun. So it's Christmas time, his parents are there, his grandpa's there, his uncle and his uncle's wife. His uncle's wife is this hot-looking girl who has, what was it called? Snapagram. Whatever the hell that is. I'm like, what the fuck is a Snapagram? But pretty much pretty pictures. But I like how at least some of the family members seem like decent folks. The uncle, which I was surprised he did not get as much development, because it seemed like there were little moments where, oh, he seems like a decent guy. He's talking to the kid. He's like, you know what, you're into this comic book stuff. Maybe, I could give you some hookups. Maybe I could tell a few people about you. Oh, okay, thanks. So I guess I thought the uncle would be a bigger character, but he wasn't. The grandpa is a decent guy, because the kid, teenager, he is grounded for a week. He can't go to this comic book party he wants to, because he drew something against the principal, and the parents don't like that, especially the mom, and they ground him for a week. But then Grandpa's like, hey, you remember our fishing day, right? Our fishing ritual? By the way, don't tell your parents. Maybe we'll come back and you go to your little party just between us. So again, I like that there's a couple decent people morality-wise. Because a lot of times in these movies, you have people who are just pieces of fucking trash as human beings. I'm not talking about their acting. I'm talking about just the way the character. I mean, little moments can help a character be decent. But again, the acting is not necessarily good, but it's a little bit better compared to a lot of, again, sci-fi channel type of films like Sharks in Venice and Sharktopus and Shark versus Raptors. Whatever the fuck is out there, Raptosaur. A shark with the head of a raptor. Whatever the fuck is out there. Tarantula shark. Is there one of that? A shark, but it could go on land, so it has the arms and it has the arms and head of a tarantula, but the body of a shark. I don't know. It has the tarantula eyes, but a shark teeth. Tarantula shark, whatever the fuck. I mean, surprised they haven't done that. They've done, Sharknado, Lavalantula, all this stuff. And then the kid has a few friends of his own and an older brother. The older brother starts believing him and tries to help. There's this next door girl that he likes that tries to help. His best buddy, who I thought was kind of the weakest actor in the group. They do a little bit of Jaws reference where when the lead kid tells him what's going on, the buddy's like, "Oh sure, Mr. Dreyfus, how big was the beast?" And I'm like, to the lead kid, just lie. Here's the thing. If you see something crazy, lie about it. Say there's a maniac. Or there's some other kind of, like just a shark. When you try to tell them crazy, they're not going to believe you. So just lie, but say that there's something dangerous about it. The reason this is all happening is for Christmas he got a magical pen. Now we never find out how he got the pen. I think it said that his grandpa sent it, but his grandpa doesn't know anything about it. Somehow, some way, some form, someone sent him this magic pen. And that's kind of the thing about the story. We never find out how that came to be. Who truly sent this pen? Why was this pen sent? Again, if it was his grandpa who sent it, that never really comes into play where he has conversation with him. So again, that was kind of a plot line they kind of didn't really go into. The musical score wasn't big on. The music at times would sound like a made-for-Disney channel. Like, try to be very peppy. It felt almost as cheap as the shark effects. And that's the thing. The lead teenager, I've seen better, I've seen worse. I think if you had maybe a different, bit of a stronger actor as the lead, you improve on the effects in the shark, you get someone else to do the composing, there could be like a decent, average, above average flick. As it is, what I mean by some of the creative touches and humor, the Santa Claus itself, because again it's a comic book story being over the top. He's being mad what happened with his parents, so he kind of does. Remember when Macaulay Culkin, wish, man, no one has my back. I'm better off alone. And he's tracing the Santa Claus, and then that becomes. But I like that the lead actually takes responsibility. It's like, no, I can't let someone else try to do this. I gotta do this. It's my responsibility. It's my fault. I mean, it's not like he knew it would happen, but at least your lead character's not being a total piece of shit, like a lot of writing tends to make characters do. But what I'm getting back to that, not only is a shark that has like a little Santa hat, but it's attracted to anything Christmas related. So it killed this person. Why? Because he's wearing a Christmas type of outfit. In this case, an elf. Or it's attracted to food that you have during Christmas. Or type of cookies that you have during Christmas. So you use that as bait. And when it's nearby, you hear jingle bells. Because the tale, when it has the sound of bells, that was part of the comic. So you have kind of weird Oh, and it cannot be hurt by weapons unless they're Christmas-related weapons. So knives and guns can't do anything. But if you have like a something that looks like a candy cane, or you, how do I put it? They do Christmas ornaments with little bombs, and they try to blow it up with it. That's really, I like that. It kind of reminds me of this film called Ghost Town back in the day. But I mean, that was way better. But Ghost Town was a film where this guy from modern time is thrust back into this ghost town from back in the day, but he could not kill the ghouls with modern weapons. He had to use the weapons of that area in order to do it. So I said there's a couple of these interesting ideas. It uses Christmas lights to pull someone down into the water. What was the other thing? Oh, then at the end, or in the third act, hey, let's try to do stuff with your drawing. So let's impale it. So it gets impaled, but then now it has a horn, and it uses that to kill someone. It gets rid of its teeth, so it gets pissed. It munches the Christmas ornaments, and then the Christmas ornaments it's using as teeth. That's what I mean. At least filming-wise, it doesn't look as janky and cheap as other films of this arena. The characters, they try to give a little bit more meat to them, but it's just, again, the acting's not up to par for the most part, sadly. And the plot is goofy, it's silly, but there's a couple interesting ideas. But the shark looks like garbage. It looks absolute bottom of the tier effects. And it made me go, they should have just done like a practical creature effect. And it's not going to look great. But fine, if it's from a comic book, let it look funky, let it look goofy. But at least there'd be a charm to it. Even, I mean, if it looks like a big oversized puppet, I think people would get a kick out of it as, oh, that's humorous and fun in a bad way, bad in a fun way. That, that has more charm than crappy CGI. So they should just, even, it's not going to look like a real shark. If it's practical, even it looks a little bit puppety. Which I know that's not word puppety, but I think that would have been better suited for them. And spoiler alert, spoilers. Pretty much everybody gets killed except the lead. And then the lead does something where he breaks the spell, and then everything is back to normal. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. You have it where if you want everybody to die, it does. But then because it's magic, be able to erase anything and everything. Now it's back to normal. Now everything's fine. The funny thing is, at the very end of the film, we see him with his family, we see him with Grandpa, we see him go to the girlfriend, to next door girl to hopefully be a girlfriend. We never see him talk to his best friend again. Or this comic book shop owner. Which again, that's kind of an interesting little bit of a well, interesting is a, I don't know if, there's not a lot of interesting story. There's interesting ideas. What I meant to say, there's a bit in the film where the comic book store owner who knows our lead kid realizes his pen can do stuff. And I think we get the idea he drew like money. And so he is trying to steal the pen, and they try to get the pen back. So at least there's a little bit more story in that portion than again some of these other, where it's kind of the typical, it's an experiment gone awry, and we need this thing for a weapon. So it just seemed to be, it's a different off the beaten path story. And it does try to attempt to build characters with the son and the mom, apologizing to each other at the end, and it tries It might not be entirely successful, but you get like a B minus for effort, D minus for effects. Some of the attacks you don't see much, because it's you can tell they don't use the shark overly as much as you would think compared to other films of this ilk. But it does have its moments where it grabs someone or again impales someone with this new horn. Like I said, at the very end of the film, you see that everybody else is okay except the lead guy's buddy. I don't know if that's an oversight or what the deal is. And at the very, very end, I don't know. I mean, everything's fine. He's ready to get rid of the pen, but then he keeps the pen. I don't know why. Why does he keep the pen? I guess even though he knows this is bad, I don't keep the pen for, I don't know, in case for a sequel, I don't know. But as it is, it doesn't end on a downbeat note. It doesn't end on a, I guess you call it sequel bait, but I mean, yes and no. That's more tolerable than a lot of other films have done. And like I said, at least it's trying to do something a little bit different. And that was, I mean, that was kind of interesting. That was kind of interesting to see. Again, to have, okay, you don't have this Santa Jaws thing. At least the plot moved decently enough. Just, here's the weird thing about this. And I know I'm mumbling and bumbling through it. I have seen a lot of bad films. And typically this is not a good film. Again, the acting is amateur. The CGI effects are garbage. But it tries to tell a bit of a kind of wholesome Christmas story. It does develop its Christmas theme, so it's not just, okay, it's a weird title and then nothing's really done Christmas-wise. I think if you took it up a few notches in terms of gore, if you do it practical, even if the shark looks like the cheapest puppet ever, that would at least give it more charm. The lead kid, it felt like they wanted a wannabe 92, 93 era Edward Furlong. And again, I'm in between. I'm 50-50 on him. There are certain moments he was okay. Other moments like, eh. I mean, part of me is like, does it have to be? Well, I guess if it's an adult, he wishes his family to be gone would be even more suspect. But I mean, it could be that you could still have the kid do it, but have, even if it's a familiar face or not, have an adult be more the lead and he's helping his son take care of this business. And the son gets killed or he's ready to die, but he's like, Dad, trust me, please. And then the dad finally does trust the son. And he does something and totally in trust of the son. And it shows that by trusting the son, everything worked out the best. And maybe like a father-son story, or even a mother. Again, maybe cast someone who's a little bit of a better actor or actress. But you see, this would be... I see at least a little bit of effort in terms of how they're writing a couple of the characters, how they're doing with certain parts of the story, compared to stuff like Shark Exorcist. And I think that's what it is with me. If you think this movie is bad, go watch Shark Exorcist. Maybe Wayne thought this would be a big old rant. Again, I wouldn't call it necessarily good, but it does have a couple merits, despite the garbage CGI, that makes it was at least worth one watch. It was quirky. It was a couple clever. It was, I would say, more clever than I thought it would be. Because I had no idea what the hell the plot was. I just saw the title. And again, the comic book aspect and the way the Christmas trees and how it's only attracted to Christmas bait and or Christmas themes and it can only be hurt by weapons of Christmas stuff. I mean, I'm like, okay. At least they're making a little bit of an effort with this theme. But again, the effects, it should have been a lot more gore and practical gore. And again, just go for even if it's a goofy looking practical shark. I think that would have made this like that was better than I thought it'd be. And in a way, I guess I thought it'd be bargain basement, but again, Neil Breen films, Kingdom of Var, Hell's Highway, Feeders 1 and 2, Shark Exorcist, films like Sharks in Venice. I mean, there's a lot worse shark movies out there than this. At least this, there was some kind of merit to it. Which is more than I could say for a lot of these other type of films. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.